Hey everyone, I am Abhishek and this is one of my side projects. I built this project to explore how data pipelines, logic, and machine learning can come together to make real time decisions. I wanted to check whether a data engineer can build a trading system that thinks like a quant. So I built an intraday trading bot for NIFTY using Python and a bit of machine learning. It analyzes live market data, detects support and resistance automatically, and generates put or call signals, completely data driven. Let me show you the architecture of intraday bot. Yeah, here is the high level architecture of the bot. On the left, the market data layer connects to the Angel Smart API every 5 minutes, pulling nifty spot and future data across multiple time frames 5 minute, 15 minute, and 1 hour. The orchestrator acts like a control tower. It runs every 5 minutes, calls all the modules, and coordinates the workflow. That data goes into support and resistance engine, which uses DBSCAN, an unsupervised clustering algorithm, to automatically detect zones where price reacts repeatedly. But it doesn't stop there. Each zone is scored based on how many reactions it had, its age, width, and whether a volume spike confirmed the move. Those zones are passed to signal engine, which performs a series of intelligent checks before issuing any trade signal. Next, let me show you the structure of the project. So this is the structure of the project. Control starts from the main. This runs every 5 minutes. It connects to a smart API which Angel Broking provides. Get all 5 minute, 15 minute, 1 hour nifty data, and then it adds other important columns like RSA, EMA, VWAP, ADX, and then send back to the main. This will be next used to generate a signal, right? And after that, the spot data is passed to build zone multi-date time frame function, right? I'll open that, and this is in the core module. So this is the main core of our nifty intraday bot. So there is a support and resistance. Let's look deeper at support and resistance engine. This is the part where that gives the bot its market awareness. So instead of drawing the levels manually, it uses DBSCAN to cluster historical swing points to into the pricing zones. Apart from DBSCAN based price clustering, bot also integrates with VWAP and volume profile zones. These captures where volumes have traded. So instead of drawing lines visually, the system builds volume weighted zones that adapts dynamically to the market structure. Right. Each zone which are which we get at the last will be assigned a score like based on cluster density, recency, zone width normalization by ATR, and volume confirmation. Like based on these parameters, a score will be assigned to the zones. Old zones decay naturally, and nearby zones are merged dynamically if price reacts again. So the system stays adaptive throughout the session. These support resistance zones become the foundation of every decision the bot makes next. So once we get the zone, the control goes back to the main, right? And then these zones along with the spot data and enriched data frame goes to the next signal engine, generate trade signal function. It calls this function, and here signal engine. Once the support and resistance zones are ready, this signal engine steps in. This is where all the decision logic happens, right? It checks for the candlesticks pattern, Like here I've used many candlesticks patterns, and those function you can check it out in the pattern checker script file, right? And like it gives the patterns like bullish, engulfing, hammer, right? Verifies whether the pattern aligns with overall trend, volatility, and confirms that liquidity and volume are strong enough, right? And if the price is too far from the zone, the signal is rejected. So those things happens at the down here. So once I get the pattern, then I'll calculate the volatility region, and then the bias, like whether it is up, down, or sideways. Then I'll call the select best zone function to select the zones which are near to the LTP and which are not merged inside the zones, right? So those zone I'll select, and then I'll get the indicators. So I'll compute the trend, and then what I'll do at the last is to give a score on that, right? So if all of this is combined into a confidence zone score, this score is calculated from the zone strength, the pattern, reliability, trend, volume, right? At last, only the high confidence signals are sent forward to the risk and order manager. Whatever I'll get from the signal engine, I'll send back to the main, right? If signal is allowed, then we can make a trade. If it's not allowed, then we can skip and wait for the next 5 minutes, right? And this cool down enforcement is like, once suppose we bought CE, like suppose the signal got generated and we bought CE, and within the next 5 minutes or 10 minutes it might generate another signal, PE. If we get that kind of signal, we'll not gonna buy that signal. Like that is the cool enforcement which I've made. Like it'll skip the opposite side signal within that time period if it comes within that time period. And then so once I get the signal at that particular LTP, I'll get the strike price of that LTP, if it is PE or CE. Once I get the strike price, next again I'll enrich that, like I'll add those extra columns like RSI, ATR, EMA, everything I'll be adding that, and then I'll be calculating the position size. That means like how many lot I have to buy at what price, what is the quantity, those kind of calculation I'm doing in this function. And I'll get the stop loss target based on the ATR value, and then I'll place an order. So once I place an order, I'll save that into a JSON file. Okay, this is how the flow works. Okay, before connecting to any broker, I tested the bot using real NIFTY data. So if you can see the sample data here, I have the NIFTY spot index data I've collected here. So I'll be passing this file to backtest runner. Okay, this backtesting module runs every signal through historical data, logs every zone, rejection reason, and calculates the metrics like accuracy, profit and loss, signal frequency. The idea wasn't to find a perfect trading strategy, right, but to prove that the system architecture works end to end. I've just ran that, so you can see the logs here. So it is finding the support and resistance zone, detecting the pattern, right? And see, if there is no signal generated, then it will send like no suitable C zone near price, right? So if there is a pattern, you can see some pattern it is showing, strong pattern, trend, inertia, allowing trade without a clean zone. So at last it will log the details, like how much trade it has generated, how much signal it has generated, and what is the price and all. So those kind of details. And let me show you a sample log file. So if I run the main now, as of now the trading window is closed, so it will skip, like it will exit. right? So I have a sample log file to show you guys. See, so for example, if it started at 10:15 a.m., the LTP is 24664.75. The first step is to get the 5 15 minute 1 hour data from the Angel Smart API. Next step is to find out the zones for 5 minute, find out the zones for 15 minute, and then same thing for 1 hour. Okay, after finding out the zones, it will merge, it will filter out based on the LTP, like as I told earlier, like it will do many filters based on the volume, volatility, and then at last it will the final zone 1 out of 9 passed filtering. That means it has selected one zone, I think. So here it will rank the zone, the top scored zone will be selected, and then next when it goes to signal engine, the first thing is it detects the pattern and which zone it's selected, and the entry score based on the patterns, weak trend, alignment. Based on those metrics, it will check the score and finally whether the signal is allowed or not, and it will send back the signal response to the main function here. See here it is telling option type P, strike direction, confidence, which pattern it has seen, type is bearish, strength, pattern strength, zone, which zone it is, what is the price as of now, right? So these details it will send back to main, and now we can say it is showing a P signal to buy, right? And then signal generated P, strike direction at the money at the market ATM, confidence is high. So based on this it will generate the signal. This is a sample log which I showed you guys, right? And like from an engineering standpoint, this project behaves exactly like a data platform. It's modular and it's logged, scheduled, version controlled, so each component can evolve independently. The only difference is that instead of transforming the data for dashboard, it transforms data into decisions, right? That's the mind shift from a data pipelines to AI driven systems. Okay, and so after multiple tests, the bot could consistently identify clean zones and generate high confidence signals that align with the market structure. The results weren't about the profit or loss, they were about proving that engineering principles can drive market intelligence. This project, like mainly it taught me how data engineering, ML, and system design come together. Okay, that that's exactly what a data AI architect needs to master, right? If you'd like to see more projects or explore the code, the GitHub link is in the description. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.